Academy Way requested such notice.
Everyone please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, right now we're going to open up public comments on action items only. Anybody in the public have any questions regarding action items on the agenda? Louis?
Luis Lopez, 98 Lopez Drive, Mount Haven, New Jersey. First one to say Happy New Year to everyone in this building. Can you clarify the new resolution 2023-05 and 06? And
Sewer application?
Okay, yeah, that's for 32 apartments that are being built by Ken Pipes and his company is Sultan Lake. It's in West Hampton, near the bypass and Route 541,
it's not
behind
just,
the Burger King.
that's I was from,
There's some property there, and he intends on putting 32 units in. He's already had approval from West Hampton Land Development, and now he's proceeding to the sewer approval.
I was just curious. I see that every day and I see the area. I was came here to see, what's the status. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Louis. Any other questions? Seeing none, closing the public comments on action items. Next, we have the approval of minutes. We have the regular meeting minutes of December 8th, 2022. We'll take these separately. Any action, comments, changes?
None at this time.
Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Barlow?
Yes.
Commissioner Falco?
Abstain. Next, we have a special meeting minutes for December 28th, 2022. This was the rate hearing. Is there action on that?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Well, I wasn't here, so. That's fine.
Okay.
One, I'll just abstain. Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Barlow?
Abstain.
Commissioner Falco?
Abstain. All right. Next, rolling into all business, we have resolution 2022-75. This is a resolution appropriating funding from the Improvement Replacement Fund for engineering services associated with the upgrade to the Hollybrook Pump Station number 208.
This is a resolution that's been on the agenda since July of 2022. We have proposals for this engineering project that go from 2022 from Alimo and ERI. At this time, I'd request the commissioners reject the proposals. We'll revisit it after the reorganization and possibly, depending on the desires of the commissioner, put it back on the agenda sometime in 2023 with or without further modifications.
Okay. With that being said, is there any action on this?
So we put a motion to table.
I would motion to reject the bids and remove the resolution until such time that there's a reorganization and we revisit it.
All right, this motion to remove the resolution.
Second. Roll call?
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Barlow?
Yes.
Commissioner Falco?
Yes. Next, we have on new business, we have resolution 2023-05. This is a resolution approving an S1 application for sewage services between the Mount Holly Utility Authority and the Salt and Lake Company for 32 units in the township of West Hampton, further identified as block 1208, lot 11. Anything you want to?
Just it's 32 apartments that are going to be low and moderate or affordable units, and it's going to be a parcel that's available for development near the Burger King. There are some office buildings there. I think there was a daycare in there.
Yeah.
And there is sewer available on Holly Lane going out towards the Popeyes. So they've already received approval from the West Hampton Land Development Board, and it's recommended for approval for the sewer service application, which is 05, and also approval for the S2 sewer service agreement, which is 06.
Tom, any reason why we should take these separately, or just go
certainly we can entertain both of them together.
Okay, with that being said, does anyone, any, member have any questions of either one of the resolutions? Take them separately or together is fine.
We can take them together.
All right, make a motion to, approve resolution 2023-05 and 06. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Vella?
Yes.
Commissioner Felka?
Yes. Moving on, we have the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine by the authority and will be enacted by one motion. Should any commissioner wish to discuss a consent agenda item separately, that item can be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence. We have 4 resolutions, which is Resolution 2023-01, welcome to the new year, first resolution. 2023-02, 03, and 04. So we have a resolution approving the operating expenses for the month of December, a resolution approving the sewer refunds for the month of December, a resolution approving the expenditures for the month of December from the escrow fund, and a resolution approving the expenditures for the month of December from the improvement replacement fund. Is there any action on those resolutions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Vella?
Yes.
Commissioner Felka?
Yes. Rolling into communications, any matters to be submitted by the public? Louis?
Good one. I just want to know, can you recap the special hearings? And I can do the recap what went wrong, what went on that meeting? The December the 28th?
The rate hearing was just an annual rate hearing the authority holds, but there were no changes in the rates, so it was just more for procedure than anything. So the rates have remained the same for 2022 and 2023.
My second question is, how's the solar panel, since they've been installed a couple of years ago, how's that going, still going?
Solar panels?
Yes, sir.
They're still operating as they did when they were started in 2013.
Have you seen a
We
lot of
buy
improvement?
all the kilowatts that are generated at a discounted rate.
There's been a lot of improvement.
What was that?
There has been a lot of improvement since they've been installed.
There's no change, it's still operating consistently since startup.
And I want to thank Brandon for keep up the MEA purge, the one from the UK. I see that and I appreciate. I come to the opening, come to say hi, and I'm glad to see everyone right here. So so there's no major changes for this year. Like any future projects, like expansion.
There are no expansions planned for the Mount Holly MUA. There are many projects that we're doing to replace old equipment, equipment that's exceeded its life expectancy, or certain pump station improvements to come up to today's standards, and also to replace worn out equipment.
And my last comment of the night is, do you still interact with the Mount Laurel MUA?
We don't typically interact with Mount Laurel MUA unless there's a specific need.
Okay,
But it's not something that we regularly do.
okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Louis. Any other questions from the public? Hearing none, moving on to the report of the executive director. Bob, anything?
I have a couple things. We had an unfortunate passing of one of our employees who had worked here for 27 years. On December 24th, John Swain, who was our collection system operator for 27 years, he ended up going to Virtual Hospital for some medical treatment and unexpectedly passed away. He was 45 years old. He was an experienced operator. He had his S2 wastewater license and his C1 collections license. So he spent most of his career out on our collection system, maintaining our sewer mains and operating our jet vac truck and inspecting pump stations. So he's certainly going to be missed, and we're actively trying to replace him. But if you have an employee with knowledge like that, it's hard to replace, and it's a very sad event. Mike and I met with his parents, and everything pension and everything is taken care of. But, our employees, especially the ones that work directly with them on the collection system, but certain employees had a really rough time, so I just wanted to recognize his passing and make everybody aware of it. 'Cause he was just a
Did we
good
set up
guy.
brief counseling for the employees?
What's that?
Do we set up brief counseling for the employees?
We actually contacted, resources if that was available, so it was not necessary, but we did, reach out to find out what was available, just in case. We had a generator failure. It was a 230 kW generator at the Rancocas Road Treatment Facility. And by coincidence, we had already approved under a resolution in 2022 a replacement for that generator. The project was in motion. Alamo was involved. They were doing specifications. In October, the generator had a catastrophic failure, and it was cost prohibitive to repair it. So we're getting it replaced under an emergency purchase. And we just found out this week that the insurance company is gonna cover about $195,000 of the expense, which includes the rental generator that we have there now. So most of the cost to replace this generator is gonna be covered. There's a generator available, and we expect to have it around, Anthony,
We're shooting for installation by the end of February.
February sometime, so fortunately, there was a generator readily available. We put $650,000 aside for design and the replacement of that generator, but in that project, we also had a natural gas line coming in, because our generator was proposed to be natural gas instead of diesel. Well, it's gonna be a diesel generator because the natural gas is at least 52 weeks out. We were replacing a 42-year-old transformer that's in need of replacement. So we still have some expenses that were related to that project that will be taken care of in 2023 and 2024. But fortunately, even though we have this supply chain shortage, we did find a generator that was available, so it was a surprise to us. The authority is currently doing a trial on a piece of equipment called an SLG. It's sludge or solids, liquid and gas. And what it is, it's a conditioner, a preconditioner for sludge prior to being applied on the belt press. The purpose of the sludge is to see if we can get more percentage on our sludge cake that we put in a dumpster and send to the county. It's estimated that we could save between $65,000 and $75,000 a year by increasing the solids. The trial is just being set up right now. We haven't started the trial, but once the trial goes on, we're working with the company to try to optimize our belt press, our solids handling. We're spending upwards of $600,000 to $700,000 on sludge disposal now. ERI is doing a proposal right now for digester investigation and feasibility study. I think moving forward, the authority's gonna have to focus on solids handling. It's gonna become a lot more expensive. There's a chemical, I'm sure you've heard about it, PFAS, PFAS, PFOA, all of these chemicals that are everywhere. They're really starting to crack down on these chemicals. It's just coming to the wastewater side. In our new permit, we'll be required to monitor for discharge of surface water, but we're also concerned that it's going to affect sludge. Sludge is going to be regulated. Certain quantities of PFAS will be restricted. We might not be able to go to the county if our concentrations are too high. We might have to handle it in a special way. So they're estimating that sludge disposal, which is now about $85 a ton for us, could be in the $400 range if some of these regulations start coming into effect. So there's a lot of concern in the future for the costs of solids handling.
How soon is this regulation supposed to take effect?
Well, on the water side, we're gonna be required to monitor the PFAS starting in our next permit cycle. Our permit has expired. Our next permit is due in the next year or two, but they're always behind by about 2 years, so even though a permit is currently expired, it takes about 2 years for the DEP to catch up, so we'll be required to monitor surface water. We don't know about the solids yet, so that's really an unknown. But, this trial is gonna run between 60 and 90 days. The piece of equipment, we don't have an exact cost on it, but it's upwards of about $250,000. But if they can justify, or we can justify the cost savings and payback, there may be a request to purchase this equipment once the trial is complete, if it's successful. We do have an advertisement right now for an assistant to the executive director. So even though Brandy left in September, we were holding off to get this advertisement out, but we do need to have somebody to replace Brandy. Brandy's gonna stay on as board secretary, so we'll continue to do the agendas and come here for these meetings, do the minutes and everything associated with the board as a part-time employee. Our Garden Street pump station, which is a big project, it's about a year behind because of some of the supply chain shortages. It's getting ready to start it up tomorrow, so the contractor did a really good job on the installation. It was
That's
a little
the
rough.
fun they had to put the tanks in there.
Yep,
getting
it was a little rough getting
Yeah,
through
that's
this, but, it's finally here, and it's really gonna be a nice addition to that area. It's gonna have a generator, which it never had. It's gonna have odor control, very similar to what we have at Rancocas Road. It's 100% effective on hydrogen sulfide gas, and the neighbors there did smell that pump station, and they won't have that odor to deal with ever again in the future once this is started up. And the last item is Pemberton Township parcels. We've talked about a couple different times about adding into the sewer service area. The engineer who's working with Pemberton Township and developers to get these warehouses on that 206 corridor on the Pemberton side they've been in meetings with the DEP, they've been in conversations with Burlington County, and they believe that these parcels that are shown on the county map are already in our sewer service area. Pemberton Township is approving or voting on an ordinance very similar to what the authority voted for, which was 2022-59 last year, to approve site-specific additions. And Pemberton is now on January 18th, voting on the same type of resolution to approve addition of those parcels. So we may see some action from the county, and those parcels may be officially in our sewer service area. And that's all for the director's report.
Can you, make sure that a letter from commissioners go to the family, with our condolences?
Will do.
Report of the engineer,
I have nothing further to add than my report.
thank you. Operations superintendent,
Nothing further.
safety and special projects,
Nothing additional.
Tom,
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Mike,
Nothing additional.
Jim,
Nothing.
any new business, other new business at all, nothing? Any matters to be presented by the commissioners? All right, well, that's easy. There's no need for executive tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor? All right, meeting is ended. Thank you, everybody.